my nail. But anyway, let's bring him out, bring him out, bring him out. He's the ones for wisdom and wellness. Welcome in. How you been, y'all? Welcome to the Abracadabra Network, aka Callosum 88, aka in Africa. Okay. Guys, this is going to be possibly triggering. Okay. Um, I'm welcoming those beautiful benevolent beings of 100% pure white light energy. Anything less than that may not enter this space. This is a safe space. This is a safe space. All right. This is going to be the channel message was Truth Compass. Okay. Truth Compass. Let's get the book out for the blind spots. Okay. We're gonna get right into it. Alright. I think Truth Compass goes without explaining. I mean, I think the title goes without explaining, really. Okay. They're trying to get you in the direction of truth. Okay. Or it could be also having to do with like the nodes, like your north node or whatever. I'm also getting like the degrees, the angles, if you know the technical energy regarding the compass. You know what I'm saying? I'm also getting like something about coordinates, like the way the planets are aligning, and then it's something about somebody trying to figure out like a formula. They're trying to figure out not like a formula, like how I was saying, like this is like y'all watch that movie Soul. There was a dude character in there, and he told them that they had to go to this place that was like on a corner of 51st and some shit like, you know what I'm saying? And they had to face this direction, they had to face east, and then they had to say something, and but it was according to, they say like, yeah, when the moon is in Gemini or the sun is in this and that and the third, but they only had a very second because the sun is moving and everything's moving, so they had to be in this position at this time, like, yeah, like it was, yeah, like 6:30, you got to be here. So it was, yeah, that's what I'm picking up. That kind of formula. Like maybe you're trying to figure out the most auspicious place to be or to meet, or because big companies, so to speak, quote unquote, they use that stuff. That's how they do these rituals. That's how they plan their games and their releases and their things of this nature. So it would be wise to have some kind of knowledge of these things. So yeah, let's get into these blind spots. What's collective need to be aware of for the present and the near future. Unconditional love, truth, and light. Mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. Let's guide the collective with love. All right. Thank you. Truth. Let's collectively need to be aware of. And if you like your own blind spot reading, okay, just let me know. So we have number 24. Okay. There's a lot of duality going on here in this image. Okay, in this sigil. All right. hmm A lot of duality. I feel like you need some of this, and they need some of that, but you're not willing to mix something. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's for somebody. Okay, let's continue. So we have the number 5. This is an interesting card. I don't know if I've ever pulled this card before from this deck. I don't think I have. Looks kind of like a baby or a bean or a fetus or a potato or a kind of looks like a phallus. You know, if y'all can see that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, Brittany. What's the number on the screen? Oh, okay. Whoa. Okay. We also have 75. Okay. We have 68. And we have 31. Viewer discretion is advised. You can leave the phone. Don't take home what doesn't belong. Okay. I'm gonna just take a moment and meditate on this. Hmm. I know this is kind of random, but I was picking up that somebody works for like, I don't know, they're like a server, but they could be sick. Like they could have a fever and they're serving people, but they end up, I don't know if they end up passing out at work or they're trying to get to somebody's table or something like that. Um, that was just something that was channeled through. Okay, but I'm getting like that's probably where you picked up. If you happen to get sick, you got it from a restaurant. Was the person that was serving you was sick or something like that? Let's continue. Let's continue to meditate on this energy. Hmm. I do see some of you rising to the top with the situation that is at first challenging. Okay. But you can make the changes necessary to overcome the challenge. Because changes, that's what it's calling for. Change is necessary to overcome this. And then, wow. Yeah, 555 is significant. Okay. It was just 555 like 2 minutes ago where I am. Interesting. Okay. So these challenges, let's say the Challenges require changes. I feel actually it's like something that comes in that challenges you. And then you start making these changes. And then you start seeing the fruition of your changes, which creates stability for you or some kind of, level foundation. There's something to take off. Okay. Yeah, because then you go from having these fives to the fours. Wow, what I say? Fives to the fours. You got number 44 right there. 58 makes 13, which simplifies to 4. 31 simplifies to 4. You go from 555 to 444. And then you got 45 right here. Mm, mm. Okay, let's get into these messages. Again, viewer discretion is advised. Look, viewer discretion is advised. Resistance. Some of you are in resistance right now. If you have drawn this sigil, you are in resistance. You are not admitting that a tug of war is occurring within you or a tug of war is occurring between yourself and someone else. To understand resistance perfectly, I want you to imagine a stream with a fast moving current. And this current, there is a boat. That's crazy because I was feeling like somebody was on a boat, like eating out on a boat. It's interesting. So it could be somebody that's serving for the first time. I don't know if they're getting motion sickness or what. Anyways, this boat has 6 oarsmen in it, and each of whom have a paddle. Some of the oarsmen are paddling downstream with the current. Some of them are paddling upstream against the current. The oarsmen who are trying to paddle the boat upstream are in resistance. They are in resistance to the current itself. They are in resistance to the oarsmen who are trying to paddle the boat downstream. Resistance is nothing more than opposition. It is any oppositional force. We can meet with opposition from the outside, and we can meet with opposition from the inside. Resistance from the outside is external people, events, and circumstances opposing you. But internal and external resistance go hand in hand. If you have drawn the sigil, you don't get to tell yourself that other people are resistant to you. So it isn't your issue. The universe is a time space reality that is based on the law of mirroring. So the resistance we encounter on the outside is a reflection of internal resistance that exists, usually internal resistance that we are unaware of. That being said, if you have drawn this sigil, it means one part of you is resisting another part of you, or you are resisting something or someone else. Okay. When it comes to internal resistance, an oppositional force and therefore resistance can come in the form of thoughts, words, or actions. For example, take the thought, quote unquote, I have plenty of money and it comes to me easily. A resistant thought may be, quote unquote, all I ever get is bills and I never have enough money for what I want. Resistant words may be telling someone that you love them when in fact you don't, or any other form of inauthentic speech. Okay. A resistant action may be getting drunk when you vow to stay sober. Obviously, when we are trying to get what we want or when we are trying to heal, a force that opposes our healing or opposes us getting what we want is going to cause us incredible amounts of pain. What we usually do when we feel this opposition, either internally or externally, is that we try to push through it. We ignore it. We do not heal with the resistance directly. Because of this, we actually enhance the resistance because we are, in fact, resisting our resistance. What we have to do is to become aware of the resistance we have and directly address it in order to create some alignment there so that we can have all our personal energy going. in the same direction. How you doing, Bella? This will this will reflect externally in the world as external circumstances working with us instead of against us. What we need to do is to dive down, to pull up the anchor so we can set sail, not try to improve ourselves so that the boat can move despite the drag of the anchor. Another metaphor is that we need to get the oarsmen who are paddling against the current to paddle with the current instead. The process you must go through to resolve the resistance is going to be determined by the specific circumstances, but treated as valid and important, but one thing is to remember that your resistance deserves to be treated as valued and important, regardless of whether or not it is about something true or real. If you do not treat it in this way, if you approach resistance with resistance by already deciding that it is stupid or shouldn't be there or needs to change its stance, you will not be able to listen to that resistance, understand it with enough compassion to resolve it, understanding it with enough compassion to resolve it. You will also not be able to arrive at your personal higher truth in any given situation. So, we're talking about the truth compass. I'm doing great, thank you. All right. Sometimes, when we become aware of the aspects of us that are in resistance, we find that instead of opposing our true desires, they point to even deeper desires that are going in the direction we were intent on going. Excuse me. The desires, and that going in the direction we were intent on going, in fact, was the opposite of what was best for us. Okay. Everyone experiences resistance in their life and in themselves. The people who are massively successful at creating the life they want to live are the people who can resolve the resistance so that their energy is not split and is instead all facing the same direction. That's what Spirit is trying to get you to do. Get everything to face the same direction. If you have drawn the sigil, the rule of thumb in this, you must directly deal with the resistance first before doing anything else. No action should be taken from a place of resistance. Okay, let us make sure our devices are charging. Okay, number 5. Number 5, bulldozing. Okay, if you have drawn this sigil, you are bulldozing a part of yourself in this situation. Consciousness itself functions like water. If you are looking at a river from above, you can see that a large river often branches off into smaller rivers, and each time this happens, there is less water available to the main river. Due to trauma, which occurs in all people's lives, with no exception, the question is simply to what degree. And we were talking about degrees and angles, that's because that's how compasses operate, right? Let's continue. Our consciousness splits just like a river does. It splits so that instead of whole, we are fragmented. It is easier to comprehend this process of splitting, that is fragmentation, in terms of how it affects our being by imagining that when our consciousness splits as the result of trauma, our ego splits in two. Okay. And it can do this over and over again. This means even though we have one body, within that body, we end up with multiple selves. The best way to picture this is to imagine that inside your body, you have a collection of Siamese twins. They are technically all conjoined because they all share one body. But each one has its own identity, its own desires, needs, perspective, strengths, weaknesses, and appearances. Some of these internal Siamese twins we like and identify with. Others we disidentify with, suppress, deny, and disown. I want to make sure y'all can hear me today. Mhm. Mm, yeah. It says here, we have good reason for approving of parts of ourselves and rejecting others. But no matter how we spin it, no matter how we spin it, it means that we are polarized. You have experienced this polarization anytime that you come to a place whether you have to make a decision and part of you says yes while another part of you says no. When we are faced with this situation, we usually begin to play a zero sum game internally. We make a decision so that part of us that says yes has won and that part that says no loses. It is as if the part of us that is saying no to something is standing in front of a bulldozer, being driven by our other part, and instead of creating resolution so that both parts feel in alignment with the choice being made, the other one driving the bulldozer simply runs right over the one protesting. This creates an internal atmosphere of distrust. It is an antagonistic internal atmosphere. The Siamese twins that we tend to bulldoze the most are those that feel fear. We cannot bulldoze our fear without creating more fear. Instead, we need to take loving care of our fear. In this situation, you must consider that the part of you that is being bulldozed exists and is currently holding a very important personal truth. There goes the truth, okay, that you need to look at instead of ignore or minimize. Right? You have important feelings that need to be felt and needs that need to be met. But you are simply bulldozing forward with the idea that you shouldn't feel those things and shouldn't need those things. If you have drawn this sigil, you are bulldozing a part of yourself in this scenario. That is why you feel like you are moving forward and doing things in spite of yourself. You would be wise to understand that you cannot do this and feel good or manifest anything good at the same time. In this situation, you need to make sure that you move forward on decisions only after you have achieved a state of alignment between your internal Siamese twins. And that's what I was seeing here. So now we create an alignment. We're telling the cells to get in alignment. The cells. Okay? And we're respecting our personal truth. We're not minimizing it. Right? Let's continue. 75. Incompatibility. Incompatibility. Okay. If you have drawn this sigil, incompatibility is present and you are not seeing or acknowledging it. This could be incompatibility with anything such as another person, a living environment, a health or spiritual practice, a group, or a job. You are being called to stop trying to force a square peg into a round hole and accept that this incompatibility so you can allow yourself or someone else to gravitate to what is compatible instead of continuing to try to change what will not change. Incompatibility is a condition of two things being so different in nature and so uncomplementary in that difference that they are incapable of coexisting harmoniously. It is tempting to assume that incompatibility is simply about having differences. But what incompatibility is really about is putting people with these non harmonious differences in roles or positions which either, which each other that require there to be either no difference or that require a difference that is non harmonious in nature to be harmonious. When incompatibility is present in a relationship, it is usually very difficult for people to admit to it. to change the nature of the relationship, to change their roles in each other's lives, or to end the relationship. When we want everything to work out so badly because we can't face the reality of the incompatibility because of what it would mean to us. But due to this, we destroy the relationship. We try to make the other person compatible with us by making them wrong or bad for their difference, which creates shame in them, and they most likely will do the same to us. After a while, the emotional condition of the relationship itself is shame and resentment towards each other because of it. Often, when we make the other person wrong for their difference, we come up with a reason why they are wrong for it and try then to heal them out of that difference or try to change it so that it doesn't exist. This never works because if you try, the message conveyed by approaching them in this matter will be, quote unquote, you need to be fixed because something is wrong with you. They will feel totally unloved by you and unaccepted, unwanted, okay, and unwanted as they are. There is a time when people, things, and circumstances come into our life specifically so that we will change and morph into different, healthier, and more expanded versions of ourselves. The pain we feel in changing so as to align with those people, things, or circumstances is the natural result of growth. There are other times when the pain we feel in changing to align with people, things, and circumstances is not the pain of growth, but the pain of denying who we really are and trying to make ourselves into something that we are not. If you have drawn this sigil, this is one of those times that the pain does not mean positive growth. It means either you are resisting your true self or someone else's true self. Okay. For anything to improve, you need to own up to the incompatibility and stop forcing yourself or anyone else sideways. Okay? Gravitate and let them gravitate towards something that is truly compatible. All right, let them go do their thing. You do your thing. As you continue trying to put that square peg into that round hole, it's not going. It's not going. Don't force it. 68. Self harm. Okay. If you have drawn this sigil, you are currently self harming. And this self harming you are engaged in is not benefiting you or anyone else in this situation. Instead, it is keeping you stuck. There is always a positive motive for our self harming behavior. We might be telling ourselves that if we punish ourselves, we will never make the same mistake again, or that we can do penance and be more likely to restore a sense of our own goodness. We might be using self harm as a white flag. If we grew up in an antagonistic household, we often learn that if we wounded ourselves, other people would no longer have any occasion to wound us. We might be constantly criticizing ourselves, thinking that the criticism will cause us to maintain perfection in our performance. You may be blaming yourself for something that wasn't your fault just to avoid the powerless feeling of being a victim or to stay close to and feel connected and loved by the person who hurt you. We might actually be hurting ourselves physically in some way, or we may simply be making decisions that harm us in favor of other people's best intentions. These are just a few examples of how we might be harming ourselves. If you have drawn this sigil, become aware of how you are harming yourself in this scenario. You may benefit by asking yourself the question, quote unquote, what would someone who loves me themselves do? What would someone who loves themselves do? That's what I meant to say. What would someone who loves themselves do? Tell me I need to calibrate your energy. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. Moving everything in the right direction. Okay. 31. Okay. Limits. If you have drawn this sigil, you are not seeing your limits or someone else's limits. Most of us don't want to face our own limits because they make us feel restricted and bad about ourselves. We don't want to face other people's limits because of what accepting those limits would mean for us or for them. We have a very negative association with limits, but if we cannot admit to our limits, we will make decisions that are detrimental either to us or the other person or both. To a certain degree, everyone wrestles with what is. We have an intolerance for things the way they are, and so we want to change them. This tendency is a beautiful thing because it makes our lives and our world improve. If we tolerate the fact that we could not fly, we would never have invented the plane, for example. However, some of us don't simply wrestle with what is. We are warriors. We fight what is as if our survival depends on it. Our unwillingness to accept what is a great source of suffering, especially when we can't change certain things about it. In fact, it prevents us from getting what we need and want. In a universe based on the law of mirroring, otherwise known as the law of attraction, okay, because some of y'all didn't know that that's what that was, but now you know, okay, whatever we resist persists because in resisting something, we are focused directly upon it. And the primary form that resistance takes is the unwillingness to accept what is as reality. Hmm. Stopping our fight with reality is much easier said than done, especially if we are in a situation where nothing we do in the current moment will change something into what we want. If you are really struggling to accept what is because you are judging that it is simply not acceptable, challenge yourself to find approval for what is. Find approval for the limitation. Finding approval for the limit will change your perspective so you can see new doors and windows to what you want. They may have been open all along, but you were too busy banging on one permanently. A one permanently locked door. Our limits are really about our boundaries. A boundary is the imaginary line that uniquely defines our personal happiness, your personal feelings, your personal thoughts, your personal integrity, your personal desires, your personal needs, and therefore, most importantly, your personal truth compass from the rest of the universe. Part of this is your personal limits. If you do not listen to and respect what you feel, you violate your own boundaries. If you do not listen to and respect what others feel, you violate other people's boundaries. It is as simple as that. To fail to acknowledge a boundary is to refuse to accept the reality of something. For example, a jellyfish has a limit in that it cannot be out of water for more than about 48 minutes. If a jellyfish does not respect that limit, or if we do not respect that limit, it will die. Another example is that if someone has had childhood trauma around being abandoned, they will most likely have a limit in that they cannot be in a partnership with someone who is unavailable. If we ignore limits, not only can we not thrive in that long term, we also are not capitalizing our actual potential. People are different. They are not going to have the same boundaries and therefore they are going to have different limits. And people who work with their limits instead of against them end up far more successful in the long run. They aren't constantly trying to be what they are not. It is a virtue to think outside the box to the degree that you can consider that anything is possible. However, if this is what we expect of ourselves, it amounts to cruelty and denial. If you have drawn this sigil, admit to and accept your limits and or the limits of others. You will be blown away at how fast situations, remedy, and solutions come to you out of the blue when you release the resistance you are holding against what is so. Against what is so. So we went through all the blind spots. If you made it through those blind spots, baby, give yourself a round of applause. You made it through. You made it through. Wisdom and wellness to you. Let's continue this truth compass. Okay. What does the collective need to be aware of? For the present and the near future. Unconditional love, truth, and light. Okay, so we got some benevolent energy coming out. This is good. There may be a reconciliation, harmonious family relationship, trust, family help and support, aware of the sacredness of family bonds, ability to bring out ancestral wisdom, brings people closer, reestablishes links, humanities and social sciences, loves peace, mediator, a peacemaker, loyalty rewarded, services appreciated, inheritance, sharing possessions, donations, return to lost paradise. Wow. Wow. That's beautiful energy. That's where we want to be. That's the energy that's coming in. That's the light that you want to catch right there. That's the light you want to catch. Okay. So some human distortions came out. Okay, a few. So I'll tell you some important dates here in just a moment. But the distortions are infidelity, enslavement, impassion, excessive focus on personal needs and social life, wants to please everyone, hurts children, destroys a marriage and family, separation, divorce, engenders karma with heavy consequences, ignorance, error, limited mind, tendency not to learn from the lessons of experience, distance, alienation from loved ones, lies, cheating, does not want to learn, negative influence on other people or situations. So that might be the incompatibility. Okay, let's see. It says disobedience, problems with authority, complexes of inferiority and superiority, disloyal, unreliable, untrustworthy, unfair laws, authoritarianism, dictatorship, lack of authority, incomprehension, competitive spirit, opposition, contradicts for the sake of being right, to have the last word, dangerous anger, aggressiveness, treachery, triggers, ruination, destruction, rigidity, frustration, conflict with one's superiors, discord, rebellion, violence, war, um, er- emotive nature, tendency to rebel against laws, rejection, impulsiveness, absence of receptivity. Okay, let's see what else comes out here. It's like y'all want to come in here to get stuff. Y'all got, this things that is being cleared up, to help you get more into your truth. If you're not ready to be authentic, then this is not for you. This is not for you at all. If you're not ready to come from the shadows, this is not for you at all. And we're talking about just within your own self. So let's continue. What else does the collective need to be mindful of for the present and the near future as far as blind spots, this truth compass? Okay. So we have two more benevolent energies. Okay, coming out here, it says intellectual abundance, access to knowledge, capacity to materialize through technology, advanced programming, emanates goodness, beauty, truth. Okay, truth compass, right? Well balanced intelligence in all fields, likes learning, learns easily, intellectual creativity, practical intelligence, fecundity, productivity on all levels, children who are obedient and respectful towards their parents, ability to make a fortune thanks to one's intellectual qualities, writing, journalism, publishing, and printing. Okay. If you find yourself in betwixt these energies, it's okay. All right. That's what the clarity is for. You know what I'm saying? Be able to see yourself in all aspects. Okay, we have revelatory perception, psychic abilities, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, discovery of hidden treasures. We was talking about that earlier before I actually went live. Okay, relative, revelatory meditations, dreams and signs, discovery of nature's secrets, acknowledgement, gratitude, subtlety, discretion, bearer of new ideas, inventor, discovery of philosophical secrets that lead to the reorientation of one's life. And let me get one more. Okay. Let's go what we need to be aware of. What I have to do. Okay, here it is. Okay, some good energy here. It says subordination, good, right, just authority, leadership, ability to work well with one's superiors to create team spirit and close collaboration with important people, capable of globally understanding the structure of a situation, a business company, a mission, etc. Capacity to plan important projects, honor one's commitments, and assume great responsibility. Appreciation and acknowledgement from one's superiors inspires confidence and loyalty, capable of withstanding high tension, powerful initiations. Letting go averts confrontation, fidelity to what is superior and honest, capable of recognizing true hierarchy, conscious of one's place in the cosmic order, enables us to unmask traitors and uncover schemes and plotting, supports altruistic initiatives, leads to a sense of duty, gives rise to scientific discoveries, a trustworthy person, commitment, contract, alliance, philanthropic association. Okay, let's go over some dates and times that may be important. Okay, September 3rd to September 7th, February 9th, April 23rd, July 7th, September 19th, December 1st, November 8th to November 12th, February 22nd, May 6th, July 20th, October 3rd, December 14th. January 11th to January 15th, March 7th, May 19th, May 20th, from midnight to midday, August 3rd is important, October 7th, December 27th, from midnight to 6 p.m. September 13th to September 17th, February 11th, April 25th, July 9th, September 21st, September 22nd, December 3rd. May 21st through May 25th, January 21st, April 2nd, June 16th, August 20th, May 30th, November 11th. We have September 8th to September 12th, February 10th, April 24th, July 8th, September 20th, September 21st, December 2nd. All right. Okay. A lot of like noonday is important. Um, 4 a.m. is important. 3 p.m., a little bit of afternoon energy, but definitely like in the morning into like lunchtime is very important from what I can see in the cards. Okay. A lot of information here. This is really going to help you. Okay. We're going to use the charms. Any other signs and symbols that the collective need to be aware of for their highest good? Okay, so the compass did come out, as well as you're going to be supported. Okay, you got the cane here. You're also getting like a clear oversight over something, all right, which is going to transform some things. It's going to reveal some truths, going to reveal some keys. Also, there's some very temporary situations, okay, um, possibly regarding other people who may not be compatible, all right. If you can turn this wheel, allow yourself to flow, not be in resistance, you can get everything going in the same direction, which what I'm seeing here, that's what things are on their way to. Okay. As of currently. Yes. Okay, the compass is here. The butterfly is here. The eagle is here. The knife, the sword, okay, the key is here. The circus or the tent is here. The teapot is here. We also have the mountains. And of course, like I said earlier, we have the cane. Okay. Very transformative. Just want you to move into your truth. That's the key. I feel like there is going to be an aha moment, like that's going to cut through any kind of confusion of direction or anything like that. I'm getting something about, it's only temporary, okay, or something like that, or it doesn't last long, something like that. Okay. I'm also hearing like enjoy the view. Enjoy the view. The view from up there or something like that. Yeah. I definitely see you moving to a higher place, a higher position. Okay. Or a higher sense of direction. So I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Be good to yourself. Be kind to others. Always, 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 always.